This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alec, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what-ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations
as we explore the world around us.
Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you are having a great day. As always, I am one of your hosts, Randy, joined by the other host, Alec.
Hi.
And we are continuing our journey on Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time. And today, we are on album number 74, The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. Now, Alec, what do you know about 9 Inch Nails?
They're industrial rock, and that's about it.
That is pretty much what I also knew about 9 Inch Nails coming into this. Like, obviously, they are a 90s rock band, but they also put out a lot of music in the 2000s. Me personally, I've probably heard 9 Inch Nails songs before, but I consciously know of one song I've ever heard of. Happened to be on this album. I had a friend in high school play for me. They really wanted me to hear it. I listened to it. And that's all I know of 9 Inch Nails.
Fair.
But just listening to the album, I'm pretty sure we've heard their music in movies. It's very movie-ish sound. And so what we do is we're going to give you some background information on the Downward Spiral and 9 Inch Nails, just so you understand it a little more as well. The Downward Spiral is the second studio album from 9 Inch Nails. As Alex said, they are an industrial rock band. This album released in March of 1994. It was a commercial success. The fun thing about this album is it is a concept album dealing with the self-destruction of a man from the beginning of his downward spiral to his suicidal breaking point. That is what this album was about, and it did well in the 90s. People loved it. It reached, I think, top 10s on most charts here and internationally. Yeah, I don't know what else more we can say about them. It's reached 74, so obviously it is a groundbreaking album in industrial rock and rock in general. So you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Downward Spiral has 14 tracks.
That is correct.
And we will start on track 1, as always. Title track, or the first track, not the title track, but it's called Mr. Self-Destruct.
Yeah, man. Going into it, it's a very cluttered sound. And it's super busy. I mean, it's industrial.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different noises and tools, sounds, and
somehow
sounds.
It's coherent, though.
Yeah.
Although in this particular track, and maybe a few others later on, it's kind of hard to hear the vocals. Like, the mixing is done really weirdly. But it still sounds decent. Like, it is industrial rock, and that you soon come to find out it is a lot of what they do.
Yeah, it is a very different sound than anything I've ever listened to in my life. That's for sure. This song had I thought it had an intriguing intro. Like, so if you've never heard 9 Inch Nails, this very first song is a very intriguing hook into the song, because it is something that you've probably never heard of, especially if you've never listened to industrial rock. So it was intriguing. It definitely caught me by surprise and made me want to listen a little more. It's very intense as well.
Yeah, it is a very intense sound.
But I thought it was a solid start. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I also gave it a 7 out of 10. Which moves us on to the next song, Piggy. Which to me was just a whole lot of repetition and random noises.
Yeah. It's drastically different too from the first song.
Yeah. I wasn't too big of a fan of it, like, at all.
I also said I was not the biggest fan of the song. It just doesn't do it for me.
I gave it a 4 out of 10, and that's like as much as I can say about it. Like, it is, honestly, it's a skip.
Yeah, no, definitely a skip. I gave it a 6 out of 10 because I didn't hate it, but wasn't good. It wasn't for me. Which moves us to track 3, Heresy. or Heresy. Sorry, Heresy, not Hearsay. Uh, Definitely the most aggressive song out of the first three. Like we said, the second one was aggressive, but this one, or the first one was aggressive, but this song is even more so aggressive. Uh, but I like the sound of it. The build in the second half of the song is really good.
Yeah, I thought the second half was a lot better than the first half as well. And it's way better than Piggy.
Yeah.
And that probably like helped it out a lot for me. I think the sound scratches an itch in my brain,
Hmm.
and it becomes like super catchy. They have a really weird way of like their song starting, and you're really kind of like about it, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden like you're into it or you're not. You know?
Yeah. God is dead. They repeat that a lot, but it's very catchy and rhythmic, and like you said, scratches an itch.
Yeah. It's weird because like despite the lyrics being very aggressively anti
Religion.
religion and everything, I
Hmm.
gave it 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, that's great. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
Like,
that's
it was
fine.
good. That's a good score from you.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite on the album. Not gonna lie.
It's fair. That's fair. Which moves us track number 4, March of the Pigs. Um, Only good thing that I liked about this track was at the midpoint, literally midway through the song, it stops and he like speaks the lyrics for a second, and then it goes back into like this hard metal, and it was a cool moment in the song. Uh, Song's obviously about riots and police, um, but it was a good song. I liked it.
I feel like that moment you were talking about where it just like it's like a calm before the storm and they get back into it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, this track starts 0 to 100. Like it is just instantly there. And they don't like slow it down at all until that one moment. And I did enjoy that moment probably the most as well. Um, Otherwise, like, yeah, if you're not ready for it, I guess it is like a big change of pace again.
Yeah, but it's a good song. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I gave it a 7.5 out of 10,
Nice, nice.
which brings us to Closer, the next track on the album. Uh, this is actually probably one of the only songs I've heard from them before.
Hmm.
And it's a pretty graphic song for the most part.
Hmm.
But according to Genius, this song is not about sex.
Yeah.
It's about obsessive self-loathing expressed through sexuality.
Which makes sense for the concept of the album.
Hmm.
We're almost midway through the album, so we're midway through this guy's journey
Journey.
of self-destruction, and
Yeah.
so it makes sense that he would use sex as a very aggressive means of pleasure and just a very aggressive means of self-expression as well.
Yeah. This song did single-handedly make me start questioning like everything about the lyrics you hear in
Hmm.
this because like I wasn't like I was surface leveling these 100% because that's what it felt like. But Genius, like I saw one quote and it was like, yeah, the song's deeper than it means. And it's like, bro, you're literally just like describing having sex.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's deeper than that? Like you're telling me how deep you're going and I have to get deeper? That's crazy.
uh, my interesting note on this song. So this was also the one song of Nine Inch Nails I knew because a friend played it to me in high school. They were very adamant about me hearing their favorite song, and I only listened to hip hop at this point. Like I'm like 15, 16, and I legitly only listened to hip hop at that point. And so I got weirded out, a little scared of this person. We did become friends, and we say friends in high school, but like I was weirded out by them. But I guess not enough to like not be friends with them. But I do enjoy the song. It's a good, aggressive song. The beat, the lyrics, everything matches the tone of the song, and it flows and sounds good. I give it a
Mhm.
7.5 out of 10.
I also gave it a 7.5 out of 10, which moves us on to Ruiner.
Yes.
How did you feel about Ruiner? Because I feel like we're a little shaky on this one because you said you made a comment after listening to this.
I did not like at one. I put it specifically at 110 in the song. I did not like the vocals, and it threw me off the song completely. I'm not a fan of his like whisper lyrics. They do a lot. And that's one thing. If you listen to Nine Inch Nails, you'll notice they do like rah, 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 rah. Like that's how they sing a lot of their lyrics, and I'm just not a fan of it. It just was not a song for me.
That's fair. That's fair and that's valid. However, for me, I thought it was super solid. The guitar solo went hard. Um, you were talking about the lyrics and all that stuff, and again, honestly, I felt as though because of the last song, I'm not looking deep enough into it,
Hmm.
and I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, that's understandable. This is gonna be, I think, our second drastic difference in this album. I gave it a 4 out of 10. I did not like it at all. And this is one of those songs that you just don't. Something rubs you the wrong way early in the song, and the rest of the song's ruined. And that's what happened for me. But that moves us to track number 7, "The Becoming." Um, Unlike a lot of the tracks before, this was like a cooler, chiller, industrial rock sound. Um, but I'm not gonna lie, industrial rock hurts my ears.
Hmm.
After a certain part, like I took a break at this song because my ears start like legitimately started hurting because of the metallic grinding sound that is very prevalent in industrial rock. It got too much. It's like working in a machine factory, like you're putting in earplugs because of the sound is grating, it is grinding.
Yeah, that's fair. So they have these really long and repetitive outros on almost every song.
Hmm.
Um, and it is mostly the lyrics that are super repetitive, but almost every song has this outro
Yeah.
on it, right? And this the becoming it wasn't too bad for me.
Hmm.
And I think it's just because they had like um a variety in the instrumentals during the outro, but the
Hmm.
song did feel a bit long. I ended up giving this like a 6.5.
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's not
Which,
bad.
yeah, we're pretty close. Which moves us to track number 8. "I Do Not Want This."
I also took a break. I'm sorry. I also took a break after that last song
Hmm.
because this whole album's a lot. And when I came back, I did put a note for this song that said, I do not want to continue this like midway through. Um, this song made me anxious.
Understandable. I so this song in particular is it helped me understand why people like Nine Inch Nails. Like the people who like Nails, I feel like this is the song that makes me understand. Like just the lyrics, the style, everything is up front in this song. And what it proved to me is it's not aimed at me.
Mhm.
Like that's what I've got at 8 tracks. It's just not aimed at me. I am not going through some self-destructive period. I knew people in high school who understood and like felt in like enamored by these lyrics and the sound and the journey that this person that they're talking about. It just isn't me. I've never been through that. I'm never gonna go through that. Hopefully,
I'm gonna
uh,
be real with you. If you feel like you relate to the song, go see therapy.
yeah,
Not the
sure.
song, this album. If you relate to the album, probably go see therapy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like there's relating, but when the album is about self-destruction, probably seek out therapy. Therapy helps. Mental health is important. uh but like it sounds good. Like the song sounds good. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I said that it's not bad. It just goes back to being kind of this mundane, anxious sound constantly.
Hmm.
Um, it's a 6 out of 10. which moves us to Big Man with a Gun.
Yeah.
And
I typed the title in wrong. I put Big Man with a Hun.
That's crazy. This is an awkward power trip of a song to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of this song is that it is a quick 1 minute and 36 seconds.
Yes.
That
I can see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's it. That's it for me, man.
I can see people moshing to this song. Like I bet their concerts are cool and interesting to be like a people watcher at. But this is a fast-paced rock song. Is definitely a rock song. Sound good. I enjoyed the entire minute 30. I gave it an 8, and it's probably my favorite track on the album.
That's crazy. I gave it a 5 because it probably was not my favorite track on the album.
It's okay. Your favorite track got a 4 or 6 from me. One of the two.
Ironically, this is not my least favorite, which is kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
We have A Warm Place, which is the next, track on the album.
Track 10.
This is almost a purely instrumental song.
I don't think there's any lyrics in it. It was the first thing I've ever come across on Spotify that said, "You got us. We're not caught up yet." It was really awkward from an album that came out in 1994.
I think it had some lyrics at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very different from what you've gotten up to this point, I guess.
Yeah, it's very slow instrumental, and like even the instrumental part is very minimal.
Yeah, I don't know. The notes that I've read about the song is that it's supposed to represent like the last bit of humanity and glimmer of hope and peace amongst the protagonist's mental state.
Oh.
And it sound and like you can tell because the sound isn't jarring and everywhere. It is more of a cohesive piece that's gentle.
Yeah.
Even with that said, it was a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, just like his mental, I rated it low, 4 out of 10.
Crazy. All right.
Which moves us now to track 11, Eraser, which were basically 2 instrumental tracks back to back.
Yeah.
Like the first lyric isn't until 3 minutes and 30 seconds into the song, in a 5-minute song.
Yeah. And it's way more chaotic and definitely not as pleasing as A Warm Place.
Definitely not as pleasing, but at least in this one, there is a build to the lyrics. Like the song, while starting slow and then going, it builds to that 3 minutes and 30 seconds mark. So it's kind of like he's ending, like he's in that tranquil place, and then it's ending, and now it's building to the next chaotic portion of what's going on in his life.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, like you said last time, just like his mental state, I had to rate that bitch low, 4.5 out of 10.
And just like this song and his urge to do things he shouldn't, I gave it a 7 out of 10. That made no sense, but
yeah, it made zero fucking sense.
We moved to track 12, Reptile.
Yeah, the longest track of the album.
It is very long. I one thing I've noticed on his journey through all this music, I am very impatient with music.
Yes.
Waiting a full minute to get into a 7-minute song, to get into the lyrics of a song, to get into the meat of the song, is just, it loses me pretty quickly. And by the time it gets going, it's like I'm already over the song.
See, I think it gets decent when the lyrics come in. I don't mind, like I didn't mind the sound itself.
No, and I don't. Like, it sounds good.
But it definitely goes all the way back to like Big Man with a Gun type of sound. Just this loud, cluttered sound that you have. So,
and the first half of the album wasn't bad. I thought we rated it pretty decently. There was like one bad song for each of us that we didn't like. This second half of the album, I just was not a fan of at all.
Yeah,
it felt to drag, and maybe that's the point. Is like, this dude's depressed. He is at the lowest point in his life, and so the music needs to resemble that. But it felt like a drag to listen to this part of it. I gave Reptile a 5 out of 10.
I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
It's fair.
Which
And it
moves
moves us. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it moves us to the next track, the penultimate, the downward spiral,
Yeah, the
the
title track as
namesake.
well.
Yeah. This is another mostly instrumental song.
Mm-hmm.
It has a piano kind of leading this eerie track. And then like I don't know, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds into it. It's a 4-minute track, by the way. So a little over half of it, a demonic-ish voice comes through with like
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds of screams talking to you. And it's just kind of fucking weird.
Yeah. It
I
weirded
felt
me
like
out.
I entered a satanic cult thing. I don't know, I feel like listening to this was just like partially summoning something.
Right.
I don't
I
know.
had nightmares. No, I'm joking. But it again, it comes. It's a slow intros, and this one had a random sound repeating that just wasn't very pleasant. And I'm just like at this point, I'm over the album. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just over it. I'm over the second half of it. The song didn't do anything for me, and it just felt like it never got going. Felt like it was trying to get somewhere, and just never got there. I gave it a 4 out of 10. It is my least favorite.
I gave it a 6 out of 10. That was all right. Demon thing was really weird though, I'm not gonna lie. Which gets us to the final track of the album, which is Hurt.
I have a question
Go
for
for it.
you. Hopefully, it wasn't just my Spotify being weird, but did it sound like it was lagging or like your headphone was going out? Like you left
Okay,
one?
so that was on purpose.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, so the instrumental is really funky and weird. Not like funky, it's like
Hmm.
funky, like what the fuck weird.
Yeah.
Has this like weird buzzy sound to give you like the feeling of nausea or dizziness.
Hmm.
And it's like distorted and it's kind of off-putting, but in my opinion, it's also not that bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. I was like, I had to. It took me a second to realize it was part
Yeah,
of the song and not my headphones going out or Spotify lagging.
yeah. Like I slowly started fucking with the noise as it
Hmm.
kept going,
Yeah.
and I did until at least the vocals ended because like it had vocals from the jump.
Hmm.
And they started playing this like one noise. It's literally just like a noise for like a minute and a half.
Hmm.
Like this had a potential to be like an 8 for me. I gave it a 7. That noise was fucking annoying.
Yeah, no, I thought like it was slow pace. It was very much a Nine Inch Nails song. At the end of the day, it fit the album. It was a fitting ending to the album. It had everything I liked in the album, everything I didn't like in the album, all put into one song, so it fit. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And just
Fair.
overall with the album, um, it hard focuses on its story and its instrumental breaks to push that story in the emotion of every song, and it's
Mhm.
cool. Like they did a great job of telling the story. It just obviously, as we've said before, is not meant for us. We don't relate to the story, and while it's cool to see the story, it just in music it's different. Like you relate better to albums or songs and stuff when you can relate to the story.
Mhm.
Um, and it just I couldn't. They're super talented, the two of them. Um, it is a great industrial rock album. It is the pinnacle of industrial rock. It just like I said, it wasn't for me. I gave it a 6 out of 10,
Yeah, I ended up giving it a 6.3 out of 10.
which is fair.
So close scores. Close
Yeah,
scores.
like, and I didn't like I just graded with what my heart felt. I didn't feel like putting all the scores together, but it'd probably be very similar to what you got with the 6.3.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I understand its placement. Um, they're very talented. It takes a lot of skill to do what they did.
Yeah. I mean, they help bring industrial rock into the scene. It's an influential album. I get it.
Hmm.
If you're into it for like the concept of it, it's good. If you go into it thinking like this is about someone's mental state and slowly the downward spiral of it, then yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's worth to listen to.
Yeah, if you
If
want to,
you
yeah.
don't think you can handle that, or if you're just not into a lot of random noises, then probably stay away from it, to be fair.
Yeah, if you have sensory issues regarding noise, it's not the album for you. Uh, if you do like concept albums, yeah, this is a good concept album. You'll be able to dig into it deeper than we probably did.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, not every album is going to be a winner in our eyes. Not everything is made for us, or we're not going to like everything. And it's life. But now it's time, Alec. You threw it at me last time, so it gave you an extra few days to think of one you were going to come up with. So give the people what they want. Give
I
them
already
that
told you I did this off the top of my
shout out.
head, and this one is going to be pretty relevant. It's shout out to all the people that have stopped themselves or are currently trying to stop themselves from going down that downward spiral.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It is hard, and
So props to
I'm
you.
proud of you for trying, getting there. Still going. Either way.
And if you haven't stopped yourself yet and you're listening to this, now this is the push. Go get that help that is so readily available and there for you.
Hmm. Or not. Like you're your own person. You'll figure it out.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Don't
But
listen
yeah.
to a couple bums talking on a microphone.
If it helps you, keep listening. Like not
True.
even just listening to us. Listening to other people talk and share their stories and stuff helps you, go find the people that help you the most.
Agreed.
But with that being said, thank you again for listening to our podcast. Thank you for listening to this episode in this series. It's a long series. We're gonna keep doing it all of September. Then we're gonna take a break in October for spooky season, and then come back with the series in November or December until we're done.
Yeah.
The next episode is album 73 is Aja by Steely Dan. It's a good one. You can follow us everywhere that social media is existing. Twitter, Facebook, we're hypothetically sound. You know the drill. I say it every time. But until next time, have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Sorry for copying you.
I don't know what you said.
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.